Hi, welcome back to the Board Leadership Series. I'm your host, Adam, and we're diving in to strategy and structure as part of the Board Leadership 300 section. This is where we get tactical. This is where we talk about the nuts and bolts of how a nonprofit works. And today, we're going to talk about the donor cycle. This is a commonly used framework behind most every successful fundraising strategy. So whether you're at a university with a multi-billion-dollar endowment or you're at a community nonprofit, this framework works. And this is what fundraisers and development leaders at nonprofits are thinking about. This donor cycle, I've used it starting out as a graduate assistant at the University of Pennsylvania, where I got my master's in higher education administration, and at various points in my career, working with multi-billion-dollar campaigns, working in the Seattle nonprofit sector, and with organizations across the country. And what I've learned is that the donor cycle doesn't change. So whether you're in Boston, Seattle, New Mexico, or anywhere in between, it's these four same phases of fundraising we're going to talk about today. The first is identification. This is about surfacing names, and this is where you can come in. The connections, people who might care. And as a board member, this is where your network matters most. We've talked about it in our previous section. But this isn't about your richest friends. It's about people who trust you. It's people who'd open an email because you sent it. So think back and ask yourself, who do I know who cares about this issue and who would want to be part of something bigger? That's what you can do in the identification stage. Cultivation's next, and this is where trust gets built. We've talked about this a little bit, but let's think about it more from the nonprofit's perspective. Cultivation is everything that happens before a major gift ask is made. So here's what you can do. You can share articles, invite someone to an event, introduce them to a staff member like a development officer you know, or if you're in close touch with executive leadership, make that introduction. This is where you follow up with a thank you email or a text. The thing is, you don't have to lead every conversation. Your nonprofit has professionals to do that. What you need to do as a board member is just to stay involved. Because like we talked about, you being there, your presence, that's what signals to someone else that they can trust the organization that you're part of. The third part is solicitation. And this is the actual ask. And no, you don't always have to make it. But when board members help with the timing or the framing or even just being in the room, it makes that conversation land quite differently. So you might, throughout your conversations, say, look, this is something I care about. And I've given X amount of dollars, and I'm not asking you to give to that level, but I'd love for you to be a part of it too. And that one sentence, it can change the entire dynamic. And finally, stewardship. After they make the gift, your job isn't done yet. It's just changed a little bit. You see, stewardship is about making people feel seen, valued, and connected. So send a handwritten thank you note, forward a note from a program director, check in after an event. See, gifts, major giving, they're not sustained through just automated processes. They're sustained through the relationship, and you're a huge part of that as a board member because you make that relationship real. So here's the takeaway. Whether you're identifying, cultivating, supporting a solicitation, or stewarding, you as a board member belong in every stage. And remember, you don't need to do everything, but your presence, your voice, and your belief, that's the difference maker. So up next, we're going to talk about where do board members fit? We'll dive deeper into governance, expectations, and how to lead from your role as a board member. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to diving in more.